Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. In today's video we're going to be seeing Jesus' story. And remember, he was captured and all of that, and now they're figuring out what they're going to do with him in this sentencing. So today's story is going to be called Death Sentence. It's going to be based on John chapter 18 verses 39 through John chapter 19 verse 22, and Matthew chapter 27 verses 3 through 10. This is what the first page is going to look like. Alright. Pilate is afraid to make the Jews angry because he does not want reports of trouble to reach the emperor in Rome. Pilate is desperate for an idea that make the Jews happy and not to make him responsible for what happened to Jesus. It is the custom to release a prisoner to you during your Passover feast. Shall I free Jesus or Barabbas the murderer? So Barabbas over here, knowing what Jesus has done, actually you've been helping people and stuff. And then there's this murderer, over here who's murdered the people in their very town. And he's going to release one of them into freedom. And they shout, Barabbas, Barabbas, release Barabbas, crucify Jesus. It's like, yeah, so he has to release this murderer into the... They thought people would choose Jesus because Barabbas is a murderer. Pilate is stunned. He tries to satisfy the crowd with a lesser punishment. Whip him. After the whipping, soldiers twist thorns together to make a crown and thrust it on Jesus' head. They put a purple robe on him to make fun of him. Some king of the Jews. So, obviously they don't, this is a children's book, so they don't get into super detail, but they took whips and they put pellets on those whips and they beat them across the back. Multiple times they ripped chunks out of them. I think they did it like 39 times or like that. Whipped him multiple times. Like I said, they had pellets, so it's jamming into his skin on top of being whipped with leather. And then after beating him until he could barely even stand, they scratched crown of thorns on his head. Now his face is bleeding and all. His head's all bleeding. And now they threw a purple robe on him because that purple robe meant a real high-class person, like a king or somebody. And now they're making fun of him and mocking him. Pilate tries one more time to save Jesus, showing the crowd that he has been brutally beaten. I find no reason to charge this man. And they still yet scream, crucify him, crucify him. Pilate is more and more afraid of the trouble the Jewish leaders might cause. Finally, he gives up, but Pilate makes a sign to put over Jesus' head. Jesus of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. No, don't write that. He is a king. He is King of the Jews. Write that he said, I am the King of the Jews. I've written what I've written. So they still try to get him changed like that. He said, oh, I am, like he said it, like, because he really was, and or whatever. That's what they were trying to do. And he's like, I've written what I've written. I will not change it. For Jesus, the hours between his arrest and being sentenced to die have been filled with agony. Sometimes during those dark hours, the traitor Judas is filled with regret. He rushes to the chief priests. Now, Judas comes back. I have sinned. I've betrayed an innocent man. Why should that matter to us? As he runs back. Here, take your money. I don't want anything to do with it. But returning the money cannot save the man he betrayed. Overcome with guilt, Judas goes out and hangs himself. So Judas, ashamed of what he done, filled with guilt, goes back and throws the money back. I mean, he didn't want it because he really thought and he really regretted the decision he had made. And, after especially probably even seeing, one, that Jesus is going to die, and two, that the beating he's just taken. I mean, they've punched him, they've kicked him, they've spit on him, they've whipped him. Now they're putting crown of thorns on him, they're mocking him, and overcome by that guilt and things, he goes and hangs himself. You know, I'm not sure whatever happened to Judas. I'm not sure if he went to heaven or hell. I don't know how that worked, because no matter what, he was meant to do that because Jesus had to die on that cross. He was the ultimate sacrifice. We'll be getting into that next week. I'm sorry I didn't do my video yesterday. Hopefully you guys learned something and are really taking something in from Jesus' story. Thank you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.